Good afternoon. This is Mimi Brown on a budget for families that is on a budget. Good afternoon. This is a public announcement for property managers, for owners that own property that are renting to people that have to rent your property. This is also for any person that is renting any equipment or housing or establishments to people. Remember, before you became that person or that leader or in that position, you were just like the regular person that walked in that establishment, walked in that property, walked in there expecting to be either a person that might potentially move into apartment complex or etc. How easily we forget that we was on the same platform, looking for a home, looking to rent a place, trying to get a mortgage, and we forget that you have family members, you have sisters, aunties, uncles, cousins, brothers, whoever. They're trying to get a roof over their head, and they're also trying to get established as well. The property managers and the owners of these properties, stop playing up in people's face. I know a lot of people's not going to like this message, but I'm going to tell it the way it need to be said. Rent is going up high. People need a roof over their head. We're coming in the fall. A lot of these property managers have not been maintaining these properties up and upkeeping them and keeping them the way they're supposed to. They've been playing and around in people's backs, not keeping the properties up to the standard that it should be. And you're putting the cost on the customer or the person that's living in the unit. That's unfair. That should not be. Because if you was not maintaining the property, if you was not maintaining the apartments, if you was not up on your post, that's not on the person. And all these expenses that is being put on residents, that's been put on people that didn't even know that they had to even pay these things. Some of these people are on low-income housing. They're on Section 8. They're on Housing Authority. They didn't know they had to pay for pest control. They didn't know they had to pay for, as far as if y'all are pruning the trees and all this kind of stuff. Where's all this stuff at in documentation? And like I said, I know a lot of people's not going to like this message, but what if it was your mother? What if it was your sister, brother, auntie, uncle, or etc.? A lot of these people are on fixed incomes, and a lot of people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I'm sending out a public announcement to the property managers. A lot of them are sitting in them desks, and a lot of the bills have not been presented, or they're putting the cost on the people and not dealing with, they have not been doing their job for as maintaining these properties. Like I said, I'm Mimi Brown. I'm families on a budget, but at the same time, there's issues that need to be addressed. You cannot, put all these expenses on people and not give them paperwork proving why they have to pay these things, or where is all these hidden fees and things coming from? And where's the antennas for Section 8 and Housing Authority? Because when you approve a person for low-income housing, you already know what they can and cannot afford. So why is all of a sudden these property managers, telling people they got to pay water bill when they wasn't paying it before? Why all of a sudden they got to pay for pest control when they didn't know that? And then when you call the fair housing people, they seem like their antennas ain't even attached, because they're trying to figure out the same thing. You know, where is all this coming from? So a lot of them got to research to find out if that's in the laws and the regulations. But this is a public announcement. If it's not for you, then keep it strolling, keep it moving. But if it's for people that are doing what they supposed to do, and if you are renting, it doesn't matter if you're on Section 8 or Housing Authority. The bottom line is people that are renting are finding out that they got to pay stuff that they didn't know they had to pay. Because a lot of these landlords and a lot of these property managers are putting that back on the person, and the person was not even aware of this. Where's these rules and regulations, and where's the paperwork proving all of this stuff? I'm setting the alarm to let those that are going through these changes, or you just found out about these changes, we need to be chatting about this. We need to be talking about these things. Because if you're on a budget and you can't afford all those things, you're not alone. We all going through changes. We all going through transition. You're not by yourself. And just because you paying a mortgage, we're good for you. I pray that you keep your mortgage up. I pray that you keep your house intact. But you got people that are not paying mortgages. You have people that are renting, and we need to be treated with dignity and respect. And no, we're not going to sit back and keep paying all these bills, and nobody is telling us why or when you should have to pay these things, and also putting a deadline on it on top of that. The devil is a lie. Our children will not get caught up with this foolishness when they are adults living in low-income housing. They're renting houses, and they deserve the respect just like anybody else. This stuff needs to be addressed. We have meetings for everything else. Let's meet about what's going on with these property managers and these rental properties. Because in order for a person to get from renting to buying a house and purchasing a house and getting a mortgage, they need to learn the basics. And right now, there's no basics on some of these things because the rules are changing, and a lot of people are getting lost in transition because a lot of this stuff is not being talked about. It's just being put on them. So, yes, we need to be chatting about this. We need to be talking about this. And I know a lot of people got family members that's going through this. Everybody's not getting evicted because they're not paying their rent. Some people is getting evicted because they couldn't afford it, because there's other things that property managers and the people that own these properties are putting on them, and their income is not accessible to pay it. So please be sensitive and understand that you could be in the same situation that they're in. We need each other. We need to be talking about this stuff. So that way, nobody will be homeless. You'll be surprised why people are homeless. Some of it is because we're not sensitized and we're not paying attention to how we treat one another. And we don't care if the person is having problems. They're right in front of you, and you could be able to address it to help them. So I will be coming back on this platform talking about these issues. And this is just part 2, because part 1 was yesterday. Because there's going to be more parts to this, because God don't want his children being out without shelter when the time the storm hit. And it's enough housing out here for people to be able to have housing. But some of it is knowledge, because knowledge is the key. But also greed is taking over knowledge, and also greed is causing people to perish by the wayside. So let's start chatting about these things. You got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got YouTube. We need to be talking about this because everybody on this planet need a roof, or a roof over their head, and they need shelter. And like I said, you're blessed if you're able to pay your mortgage. You're blessed to have a home where you don't have to go through these changes, but you could have family members. You could have co-workers. It could be your mama. It can be your auntie. It can be your cousin. It can be your enemy. It don't matter. But if you can help somebody along the way, consider doing that. Come out from being selfish and help somebody else. We all going through changes. And stop thinking that you don't want nobody to know your business. Everybody knows everybody's business. We beyond that now. Have a blessed and prosperous day. I will be back on this platform talking more about this issue because property managers are getting over because a lot of them got the assistants doing all the work. And again, shout out to the assistants that are doing their thing. They're not complaining. They're just trying to keep their job while the property managers feel like they can just sit back and be a leader and throwing their authority around when they need to think about it. Did God give you that authority? Did God tell you that you are treating people with decency and respect? So I will be back on this platform with more parts of this. And again, have a blessed and prosperous day.